And I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to make something for Halloween. So I remembered this old book that I had when I was a child. And I must have bothered my mother to pick it up at the store. Now, this book is called Movie Monsters by Thomas G. Aylesworth. And I saw that it was printed about 3 times, I think. And this looks like it's the 1977 printing. Now, I remember taking this book to my cousin's house and reading it with him and goofing on it. So, Movie Monsters is obviously a portrayal of all the famous movie monsters from the old days. Now, this was originally published by Lippincott in 1975. And according to the book that I got, looks like I got it in 1977. Second printing. So you got King Kong, Godzilla, Frankenstein's creature, the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Fly. Oh, I hated the Fly. Dracula and the Bride of Frankenstein. She's a great actress. Elsa Lanchester. Great actress. Mr. Hyde, the Invisible Man, Dr. Moreau's Creatures. That's another one that freaked me out, that earlier version. The remake was pretty good, too. They were both good. Greatest copycat monsters, greatest monster actors, and more about some of the films. So you can see there's a lot of photographs in here. There's a shot from the original King Kong. And so, you know, it looks like it's written so that, you know, someone that's pretty young but still, you know, maybe about 12 or 10 can understand it. But it's good to be read all the way up, even as an adult, right? We've got some more pictures from the original Kong film, background of everything. I'm looking at this for the first time in, you know, almost 50 years, I think, if that's possible. No, 48 years, something like that. 47 years. Look at that one, huh? I love that scene. Do you like that scene? That was a killer scene from that movie. And here comes Godzilla. I loved Godzilla. I had the Aurora model. I wish I still had it. I know it went out with the trash. But I kept that model and I dug it. The glow-in-the-dark head and everything. Wish I kept it. Then they started to fight each other. You remember when that? What a big deal that was. I remember the anticipation of, before I saw King Kong versus Godzilla, who's going to win. I was on the Godzilla side. One of my friends was on the King Kong side, and we used to beef over who was going to win. Looks like it's getting a little darker in here, so Rodan. I loved Rodan, too. I'm going to put the light on. Yeah, Rodan was awesome. 1957. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Parts of that I thought were boring as a kid, but, you know, it was on a lot, too. They used to show that one all the time. But the scenes with the creature were cool. When you watch it as an adult, you appreciate the suspense from, you know, the non-creature moments more. And Frankenstein's creature, original Frankenstein, that's one of the classic scenes from the book and the movie. There's Boris Karloff right there. 1931. And, you know, scenes from The Mad Scientist, played by Colin Clive. Yeah, the Wolfman. You know, they never went back to that original look for the Wolfman. Every other werewolf movie looks totally different, but that's okay. Maybe they'll go back to that look someday. I don't know. Lon Chaney Jr. More about the book. Wolfman wasn't a book. But, yeah, it just describes the film. It goes through not just telling you the story of the film, but, like, a lot that went into the background of it, which you can see there. And then they started to cover other werewolf movies like Michael Landon and I Was a Teenage Werewolf, and Henry Hull and Werewolf of London. Compare his makeup with Chaney's. I remember doing that when I was a kid. I was like, comparing them and everything. So we go more onto that. Go into the Mummy. I wasn't a big Mummy kid. You can freeze this and read it if you want. What's that? The Fly. I love The Fly. Oh boy. Looks like I was drawing when I was it looks like I was drawing, so. How old was I? Like 8 or 9? 10? No, I wasn't 10. I was 8 or 9. And there you go. Original art from Q.N.S. 8 or 9 years old. I think I was 9. Whatever. Look at that. Huh? Can you see it? You got Rodan and you got King Kong. And that's probably supposed to be the girl in his hand. So there you go, huh? I love it. Look at this old math paper. Remember that? This is the math paper from school. I probably drew that in school. Because this is the math paper we used to take our tests on. Look at how yellowed it is. All right, we'll just put that over there for now. Leave it in the book. That fly grossed me out. Grossed me out. Dracula. Ugh. Great scene from Dracula. One of the most atmospheric. I think Dracula is probably the best of all those original, Universal films. I think Dracula was the best one, in my opinion. But they were all good. They were all great. What else we got? More on Dracula. Lon Chaney Sr. as a vampire in London After Midnight, MGM, 1927. He doesn't look anywhere near as scary as Bela Lugosi. Lon Chaney Jr., also a vampire. Look at that. Father and son vampires. Amazing. This one looks almost like a comedy compared to that. Bride of Frankenstein. There's Elcha Lanchester. And, goes through the whole Frankenstein thing. She was a really great classical actress. She probably took that role because it amused her, or maybe it was the money or something, but it was a great role. She shouldn't be remembered for it, though. I mean, more than the others. Great movie. Mr. Hyde. Yep, Mr. Hyde was creepy. Before and after photograph of Frederick March. Paramount, 1932. This freaked me out, too, as a kid. Something about his pinky finger being so long. John Barrymore as the evil Mr. Hyde. Paramount, 1920. That's really early. I wonder what they had for... my great-aunt used to play the piano on the old silent movie houses. She was one of those people that played the background music. Spencer Tracy changing from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. Notice the small amount of makeup he used. All right, so there's the thing. Yeah, see? It's all in the acting. And Dr. Hyde, isn't really supposed to be all about changing the way he looks. So there's two different interpretations of how to play Hyde and how to present him. The Invisible Man, yep. I don't know. Has there been any remakes of this where he's actually invisible? I think so. So Claude Rains, great actor. Gloria Stewart, 33. I thought that was kind of goofy. Dr. Moreau, I love that one. By the H.G. Wells book. Yeah, The Island of Lost Souls. All right, yeah, I saw that. For some reason, I keep remembering the one in the 70s. I think it was called The Island of Dr. Moreau. And then there was one with, in the 80s, with, what's his name? Great actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Famous actor. Anyway, it was good. And Island of Lost Souls, I remember that one too, but for some reason not as well. I probably haven't seen it in a very long time. Paramount, 1933. There they are. The half men, half beasts, being in different stages of transition. Oh, Marlon Brando, that's who it was. Yeah, that was a good one too. I'm sure they'll remake that a third time, or fourth time, really, someday. Christopher Lee in The Curse of Frankenstein. Compare his monster makeup with Karloff's. Which is more frightening? You know, in different ways. But I do think Karloff is the classic Frankenstein. Although there's been a number of other good Frankenstein movies. This is a superior mummy, you know, Hammer in 59. This was really creepy. John Van Eysen, Hammer in 58. So early Hammer films. The Horror of Dracula. I'll just let you take a look at this. Oliver Reed carries off a victim in The Curse of the Werewolf. Compare his makeup. They seem to be big on comparing the different makeups. The Greatest Monster Actors. Yep. Lon Chaney Sr. as the Phantom of the Opera in 25. Right there. And then there's just Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. Okay. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Yeah, they were. That was 43. And The Curse of Frankenstein in 57. The Christopher Lee one. You know. Jolly Vincent Price in The Pit and the Pendulum. Oh, that was a great movie. The Pit and the Pendulum from 61. And so, look at this. Even it's got a mention of the monster, the computer in 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's a good thought that he had there, because that really is kind of monstrous, as you can see. A lot of people are afraid of, you know, machines that can take over. More about some of the films. All right, so you got some reference information here. Continuing reference information. If anyone wants to take a look at it, you can pause your video. Hope this doesn't go too long. Nearing the end here. Oh, and it's also got an index. Great. Okay. And about the author. Okay. And my 9-year-old, 8 or 9-year-old scribble. Whatever it is. You can see I really got into this stuff, didn't I guess? Well, some of the time. Wasn't my favorite stuff, but especially around Halloween. All right, which is probably when it was on the shelves at wherever we got this in 1977. Happy Halloween. Boo. On to your next video. Okay?